Hi, everyone. Welcome to my podcast, Your Hospitality Moment That Mentors. I am Jokima Hiller, one part of the book writing, educating, and training duo Bet on Hospitality. And guess who my first guest is on my podcast? Jill Woods, one part of the book writing, educating, and training duo Bet on Hospitality. Hi, Jill.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for being here. How are you today?
Awesome. It's busy in Indianapolis and March Madness is in full effect.
The excitement. So glad things are, I don't know if the word is rebounding or getting back to a little bit of normal.
I like the idea of a rebound.
Yeah.
I think normal, back to normal. I think we've all adjusted to where things won't be exactly normal,
Sure. Makes
but
sense.
a rebound's nice.
Awesome. Well, everyone, let me tell you a little bit about Jill. I will definitely post her full bio. But she is currently the dual director of sales for Aimbridge Hospitality in the Indianapolis Downtown market, representing the Courtyard by Marriott at the Capitol and the Residence Inn on the Canal. Here's what I want you to know. See, these are some of Jill's specialties. Making others see how fun and rewarding the hospitality business is, negotiating hotel rates with companies, approving and sometimes developing advertising proofs, organizing, public speaking, and conducting employee meetings and trainings. In other words, she is a mentor, which is why she is my very first guest on my mentoring podcast. So let's get to it. All right, Gio. So help me tell my listeners how we came to know each other. Do you want to start the story?
I know I was fresh in the hotel industry. I was working my first hotel job and I had moved from front desk into sales due to some interesting circumstances. And one of the first trainings I went to, I think it was Elk Grove Village near Chicago.
Sure.
And it was a friends hosting friends training that you had developed. And so the first time I saw you was you doing that presentation. And I was blown away. And I was like, wow, she makes this sound like awesome. And I never I was so new into it. I didn't know how awesome this business could be. So that was our first meeting. I went up to you, I gave you my card and said, you don't know me, but if you're ever in the Indianapolis area and you need help, I would love to work with you.
Awesome. Well, then you fast forward many years later, and I wound up being recruited to manage a hotel in Indianapolis. I was having a hard time. And it was so funny because I think maybe about a month before I had connected with you, I had received a message from you saying that you were retiring. And I was like, how is she retiring? We're the same age. And so I sent you a message or reached out to you and was like, hey, look, are you really retired or are you open to opportunities? Because I really could use some help here at this hotel.
Yes.
And it was a rough journey, but we made it. And if we fast forward, I remember sitting at your kitchen table going, wow, we really have been through a lot. We should write a book.
And we did, like that night.
And that's when the book writing duo started. And then we just really have expanded into a lot of other things.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Well,
absolutely.
Thank you again for being here.
I think retirement, I think I was trying to be a stay-at-home mom and I did not excel at that. So I knew the hotel business was back.
Sure.
For me.
Well, glad you accepted my challenge.
I am too.
So tell me, what do you enjoy most about being a mentor to others?
I like sharing the excitement of what this business can do and how it really is a major factor in business and leisure and everything. Hospitality is at the core of everything. So if you're somebody that understands that, it's exciting to know that you are that relevant in making things happen for other people. And, every challenge is like a badge of honor that you can like file in your head and bring back when you need it. And that's another exciting aspect, is you're always learning about it.
Absolutely. Taking notes to later put into a book, perhaps.
Absolutely.
So when you think about mentoring, do you have an example or a story where either you were mentored or you mentored someone else and it was an ideal situation?
I would have to say probably my experience being a task force manager in both operations and sales was really cool, because every new assignment, I got a new chance to kind of use my skills to help that person or persons in managing or selling a hotel. And so each time I kind of got a fresh perspective, I got a fresh hotel to look at. And during that time, the company I worked for had award ceremonies. And it was always so rewarding to see somebody that I worked with go up on stage and accept an award for exceptional work for what they did, because I can say, hey, I was a part of that. I helped get that person started, and it was a real source of pride for me. So there were numerous ones, but it all had to do with the task force experience.
Absolutely. And I know you touched many, many people through that experience. Is there a step-by-step process that you use when you go to mentor someone in sales?
Yes. The first step is always assessment and listening. The first couple days, you were told not to make any sudden changes at a property, that you were there to observe and see what was needed or what was missing or what you could bring to the table. And then you would develop a plan on who that was presented to, how you would execute it, and, gauge the best way of going about it. If you're training someone new, you have to figure out the best way that they learn, and then adjust the way you teach to how they best learn. So the first couple of days, which is really hard for me, was I was supposed to listen. I was supposed to ask questions and listen and slow down, because the first day doesn't always tell you what needs to happen. Sometimes it's the second or third day or a week later. You really have to observe and find out what the problem is or what the next step is for the hotel, and help to make that happen.
All right. So the mentoring moment is when you're mentoring others in the area of sales. You first want to listen or do an assessment so that you know what needs to be done. Number 2, you're going to develop a plan. And then number 3, you're going to execute. Do you follow up with that person? How important is follow-up?
It was huge. I think they were a little surprised when I would follow up. I would usually follow up after a week, and this is when I'm on a new assignment, but I would always take the time to follow up in a week, and then maybe go to a month, and then maybe quarterly. And it was as simple as a phone call or an email saying, hey, I'm checking in. How are things going? Do you think you're doing okay? Do you need any help? And, it was really nice to kind of be able to do those things and keep track of where I've been and where those people are. Because the goal is to fit the right person at the right property in the right position so that they excel and they stay there a long time, because that helps the company out to have that stability.
Absolutely. So what's next for Jill Woods?
I just got downtown, and obviously downtown properties need a lot of help, coming, out of, we still have COVID as a major factor. So helping a property adjust and put its best foot forward and find the right kind of business that creates stability, which creates revenue for our ownership and allows us to ramp back up hiring. So that's basically what I'm doing. The goal is to book enough business, be able to grow your sales department, because a lot of sales departments are short right now. Mm-hmm. They may have hired back one person when you're used to operating with 3 or 4. So really utilizing your time to do what needs to happen first, because you really do have to prioritize, or you will be overloaded very quickly.
Absolutely. Awesome advice. Well, thank you so very much for being here, and for being my very first guest. I didn't tell you this beforehand, but I would love for you to come back and be a guest maybe on a regular basis. Just think about it.
I can probably fit it in.
All right, everyone, listen. Jill Woods is available for educating and training opportunities, for public speaking opportunities. So how do you get a hold of her? Certainly, you can follow her on Twitter. You can join our Facebook page, Bet on Hospitality. And you can also follow her blog. It is CSEEJilltravel.wordpress.com. All right, my dear, anything else you'd like to add?
No, this was a great experience, and I look forward to having more.
Awesome. Thank you. Have a great day.
Take
care, everyone.